Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, and welcome to a Nerd Nation live stream of our review of season 3 of Cobra Kai. And what a season it was! So, joining me, I'm of course Hip Kai. Joining me is just Zam. Exciting.
Howdy, partner.
How you doing? All right?
Very happy. Binged the whole of Cobra Kai. I haven't binged a show in a long time with all the shows been coming out weekly recently, all the big stuff. So it was interesting to binge again, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Awesome. Yeah, I've got to say, obviously there's going to be spoilers. You should know this by now. This is obvious. Not going to do a review without spoilers. I'm assuming everyone's watched it. Judging by what's going on social media, everyone has watched it, and everyone pretty much has the same reaction as myself. I'm sure with Zam as well. And we're just going to get into it. So, at the end of season 2, it had one of the greatest choreographed fights of all time. It was pure, sexy martial arts indulgence at the fight at the school, and at the end, the kid Miguel was kicked over the balcony, and he landed on the steps. Well, he landed on a banister, broke his back, and you see him in hospital. And we kick off season 3 with him in a coma. It's all gone to shit. Danny Larusso. There's a big aftermath after the incident at school. Danny LaRusso's business is suffering. Johnny's lost Cobra Kai to Kreese. And Robbie's on the run. And it's all gone to shit. Relationships are broken. One notable absence from the show in this season is, of course,
Nicole
Aisha.
Brown. Yeah, Nicole
Aisha.
Brown. That's the name
Nicole Brown. Yeah, Aisha. She was absent from the show. I think they mentioned that her family moved upstate or something.
Sorry, I apologize.
Hang on, I can hear my voice. Mute that.
Sorry, I apologize.
So that's the notable absence there. Now, as we say, I'm just going to give an overall first, and then just talk about all the little things. Now, overall, I absolutely loved this season. It was pure, unadulterated, indulgence. It was just 80s. It was 80s film with a modern twist. That's how the whole of Cobra Kai has been. And I absolutely love it. You can forgive all the little silliness that would otherwise make you groan in other shows. But here in this show, you're just like, yeah, the team melodrama, the karate being the be all and end all of the whole world, all of that, it just adds to the enjoyment of the show. It doesn't take itself too serious, but it doesn't go too overboard as well. Zam, what are your thoughts on the season overall?
Oh, I loved it. I do. I mean, I do feel like this season was like a shuffling of the pack. You know, like it felt very similar to the previous season, and but now like people, and it felt like I was watching WWE at times. Yeah. Like we got face
like
turns, we got heel turns, we got a Royal Rumble at the end. I mean, it was very much like that. And I'm gonna just cut to certain things. I'll cut to my gripes right now. I didn't like Hawk's face turn. It just felt very. I mean, like once he beat the shit out of that fat guy who was a power lifter, I thought that was it. I mean, after breaking, was it Eli, Elil, or whatever his name is?
Dimitri,
my bad. After breaking his arm,
Eli is actually Hawk's name.
Yeah, my bad. And after breaking Dimitri's arm, which he obviously really felt indifferent about once he'd done it, and he was obviously egged on, and then to beat the shit out of that guy to prove to that bully of his old bully that I'll fuck you up next if you try it. I thought there was no turning back for him after that. I thought he had crossed the line and he was going to be another John Kreese. But no, he turned face at the end, which I actually didn't appreciate. And Robbie looks like he's going to be going full on bad guy next season. He might have a change of heart where he might get a bit of an indecisive moment and he might hesitate, and that hesitation's for the weak and all that bollocks. But nevertheless, those were my particular gripes. I would like to see more of is it Chosen?
Chosen.
Yeah, I would like to have seen a bit more. I did like the fact though that he had turned himself around and in a way that Daniel didn't have another enemy, so to speak, and he learned something from him, which was pretty cool. But you could tell that they never went to fucking Japan. It was so fucking obvious, man. You know, which is unfortunate. But it would have been nice if he did go there. There were some good moments. I'm not sure if I wanted another. I wasn't expecting another big ruckus at the end, but I love the way they threw that kid with the glasses through the fucking window. I laughed
It's not a cat.
I laughed my fucking. But at times I'm thinking to myself, you know, like, aren't these kids thinking to themselves, what the fuck are we doing here? You know, why are we doing this? You know what I mean? You know, it felt at times I'm thinking to myself, what is it somebody going to just take a deep breath and realize, you know, what's the point of all of this shit? I mean,
no, you're overthinking it. You're putting too much logic in it.
I can't help it because I'm thinking to myself, you know, these guys are coming to that they're coming to that line now where they might kill each other. You know, these children might kill each other. I mean, how far are they willing to go? You know, and for what reason? You know, as well. So
well,
yeah,
I mean,
those thoughts I couldn't help but think.
Yeah, they go from like, you know, a fight to school to literally breaking into someone's house and kicking off a huge fight. And at the end of it, they go to Greece to settle it instead of calling the fucking police like normal people. You know, it's like, no, we don't need the police. We do karate with the main bad guy. It's like, no, call the fucking police. These kids all need to be in jail. They're completely nuts. And I agree. I agree with. Shut up, Cheeto. I agree with you about Hawk. I hate the face turn. Didn't like it at all. I think it was out of place of his character. You don't just break a guy's arm and think, "Oh no," and then have doubts along the way. It's like he should have just gone full on hill, like no redemption, because he was pushed. You know, he's always been made fun of, and now he's like the alpha male. And if you're the alpha male, you take that ride. You don't just suddenly do a face turn. But my biggest... Sorry, go on.
So like I said, when the season ended, it felt very much how season 2 ended. But now you got people in different who have different alliances. That's all.
Yeah,
you know?
so we have
additional characters.
My enemy is my friend. Very much that was a theme of this show. You had people changing. You know, you have like Tori, who was in like this predicament, and then John Kreese plays the good guy in going after her landlord to kind of say, you know, back off this girl. You know, does her a favor, so she joins obviously Cobra Kai. You know, the one whose mum's on the dialysis and who scratched Samantha Larusso. Yeah, so you had that kind of moment. And speaking of, I gotta say, man, I like Martin Cove really came into it this season.
Superb bad guy.
One of my favorite, I mean, he's a classic. Like, we grew up with Martin Cove, you know, Best of the Best and all those kind of films. Rambo 2. God knows how many military bloody films he was in the 80s. But he's an absolute legend. And as John Kreese, as a bad guy, he was perfect because not only does he play like an arsehole, but he does your typical kind of that kind of person, which is he plays the victim in a lot of scenarios as well, to kind of get the police on his side, to get the you know, to like try and reinstate the tournament.
He uses his military status, you know, war veteran, all of that shit. The Yanks love that fucking bollocks, man.
All that, and that's how you do a villain. That's such a great, compelling way to do a villain, because it's not just bad guy. It was like, no, he had some range in his actions, and also we got a fantastic backstory to him as well, which I found was surprising, and I loved it. The only twist is the guy with the ponytail, who you think is the guy that's in Karate Kid 3, actually wasn't him, because he got his head blown off, and it's the other guy.
Is it Terry Alexander? That's his name, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
the bad guy from Die Hard, Karate Kid 3.
I forget his name, but I loved Karate Kid 3. I love the trilogy. First one is obviously clearly the best, and the other two I still enjoyed. I was young, I enjoyed them, but I especially loved Karate Kid 3. I liked the turning of Larusso and that guy was like hardcore. So with the rumors are that he is going to show up in season 3 coming up, that's fantastic. I really do hope he's there
Not just
because
him, but also hopefully his protege, that Tommy kid, the American badass karate boy. Remember, his
yeah,
enemy, his fighting enemy, as well. So apparently, both of them are going to come back, or one of them, and
that would be great.
maybe like they'll have like a grandkid. Maybe Terry might have a granddaughter or a grandson who's the new protege and shit like that. And those are some of the rumors. You know, there was one rumor actually. I'm watching Star Wars Theory. He's got Cobra Kai Theory as well, and there was a rumor apparently that Sato, during the Vietnam War, was the guy who trained John Kreese and Terry. That was the rumor, and apparently that was going to be what was going to be in season 3.
Well,
unfortunately, they didn't. I'm glad they didn't go down that route,
yeah,
because it makes the fucking world tiny for no fucking.
Yeah, exactly. It makes everything too connected, and that's just beyond like kind of stupid.
I also add, like, Cousin Cheetah doesn't realize, even but he hasn't watched this shit, but he doesn't realize that, this comment, Mr. Miyagi, the grandmaster of fly fishing. Well, fly fishing was used as a technique of training by Daniel when he took his daughter fishing, which was pretty cool because
in the series,
he like tells you to cast the rod and shit like that, and then when it came to using the pole and stuff, he was like saying, cast the rod, and she's like that.
Yeah, I think they did that in Karate Kid 2 as well.
Well, yeah, they did that with the wax on, and the painting, the word.
No. But in Karate Kid 2, I think they used the fishing technique for some of the stuff. I think.
I remember they used that goddamn crane, which we cut his shirt and stuff like that. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
I need to go back and watch those because I like until that Asian bird showed up, I was like, oh shit, it's forgot her name, was Kumiko or something like that.
Kamiko or something like that.
Yeah.
But Jane, when that younger woman was standing next to her, I thought, fuck, Daniel's got a love child. Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine?
I thought, yeah, shit, Dan's got a love child. My God. But no, it was this girl called Junie or something like that, the one he saved in the second movie during the hurricane. And she's just
the greatest plot convenience in the whole fucking world, that she just so happens to be the boss or one of the head senior people at the car company that he lost his contract to. And she's like, let's talk business and all this kind of shit. And it's just like, oh, okay. You know what? It's Cobra Kai. I don't really care about Danny LaRusso at all. I think he's the weakest part of the whole show. Though I enjoyed the stuff in Japan a lot. It did have a slightly more enjoyable run in season 3 than he has in the other ones. But he's still got too much screen time.
1 second, mate.
Yeah, what's up? It's okay. Take your headphones out. I'll keep talking. But yeah, I feel that Ralph Macchio is kind of shoehorning himself in a bit too much in the show, and it's not really about him. Okay, people have to remember the show's about Johnny Lawrence. He's the initial star of this, and I really hope season 4 we don't get too much of Danny LaRusso's side stories, because it's getting too much like he hasn't lived outside of the Karate Kid bubble in his life. It's always Mr. Miyagi this, Mr. Miyagi that. It's like he stopped growing past the 80s and he just like became a car dealer and that's it. And then his whole life has just been about Mr. Miyagi and literally no other human beings. So that kind of bugged me. Whereas obviously Johnny Lawrence, there's more range to him. He's the far better actor and fighter.
He's brilliant.
He is the best thing. He's the best thing in the show. He's so fucking funny. Just like him just trying to deal with Facebook and social medias in general.
He's still stuck in a bubble, mate. It's unbelievable. Like, did he miss like a couple of decades for some reason, like to not even know these things even existed?
Yeah, he just drank it all away.
which I kind of found funny. I do like his character. He's always down on his luck, and he's trying to balance certain things. Him and John Kreese. John Kreese I like as a great villain, but when it comes to the heart of the show, it's definitely
it's Johnny Lawrence.
It's Johnny Lawrence. He's brilliant. He basically.
I don't want to see as much of Larusso in
I don't
season
mind
4.
Larusso. I feel he's just as integral to all of this, you know. And when it comes to bringing all the nostalgia throwbacks, unfortunately, the majority of them is going to be associated with him.
That's the problem.
You
Yeah,
know,
like season 4 is definitely going to be again more of about Larusso's history and the out characters from that, because the whole trilogy is tied to him. But I think we're at a point now where it should just be more about Johnny now trying to win back his kid and trying to do right by his kid and kind of just let Miguel do his own thing.
well,
Because we had that.
regarding Miguel now, like, I mean, first of all, I'm really happy that Johnny and Carmen got together because I really wanted them to get together. And Carmen, I find her to be the hottest actress of all the people there. I mean, actually, a lot of the actresses are absolutely.
Well, her and Amanda Larusso as well.
Yeah, she's very milfy.
Yeah, very milfy.
Yeah, so nevertheless, I'm really happy they got together. And then when Elizabeth Shue, when she finished off fucking breastfeeding Homelander, she's come back over here, yeah. and I really thought they were going to go for the classic, oh no, you've been caught with her and shit like that. We just slept with each other. I'm glad they didn't do that. But
yeah, me too.
She'd be thinking to herself, hold on, aren't you after my mom? And you're sending fucking pics to your old girlfriend. What the fuck, mate? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, but that never came into play. But nevertheless, I'm glad that he got back on his feet, you know, literally. That was a good story. I'm glad it didn't take the whole season for him to get back on his feet. But I was worried we're just going to see a whole season of him in hospital. And then by the end of the season, he wiggles his toe or something. But I'm glad that wasn't the fucking case.
Yeah, they only spent like the first couple of episodes on that in, you know, the cheesiest ways rather than going through the usual physiotherapy kind of routes. It's like, nah, we'll just do it 80s style. Come on, you nerd, fucking walk. I'm going to drop you on your feet and all this. And we'll go rock to a D. Snyder concert and all this shit. And it was great seeing his journey of recovery was so 80s. It was like one of the most 80s fucking moments. Because it's like, let's defy all medical science and physio, and we'll just do it this kind of way. And but it's funny as well because I know this is a bit daft, but it reminds me of my auntie and her dog, where her dog was paralyzed from the waist. He chased after a cat, hit a door, because he's like a Dachshund. Their spines are a bit like dodgy, so he paralyzed the back of the legs, and she nursed him back to fully walking again. And she's doing all that kind of holding him up on a harness, walking him around, getting him to chase things while she holds. And it just reminded me of that. It's like, you don't need medical doctors. You just need some gritty arsehole to just call you a fucking nerd and nurse you back together. And it was great. Miguel is a great character as well. Still great. In all 3 seasons, he's been fantastic.
He's Danny LaRusso of today, in my opinion.
He is a Danny LaRusso today, but way better. Better actor. Better fighter, better personality, just great, just an absolutely brilliant character, and I kind of liked his journey, and that kind of clashes with Hawk as well.
Just go back to Johnny. Like, I like the way Johnny was like trying to open up his own dojo, and he was going around and stuff like that, and he tried to do a handshake deal with this one geezer. He wasn't having it. And then he tries to find the cheapest one in town, and it's still like $3,000 and shit like that.
Yeah, and he says to the guys, like, $3,000, and where's all the counter there with all the foods and waters and all the showers?
But he first of all said, you know, this place ain't too bad, you know, a bit of spick of paint, and I'll get it right as rain. And then next thing you know, he finds out the price, and he goes, "This place is a dump." Yeah. It fucking made me laugh so much, but most of the comedy came from him. Like, after like he's in school and stuff like that, and he's talking to the boys, telling them to not be part of Cobra Kai, and then as he leaves, he smacks that nerd's kids books out of his hand. Sorry, a bad, you know, old habit. Like, just so brilliant. Oh man, just like you know, even when he's being tragic, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, at times, you know, it's you know, all that sort of stuff, and he just steps into it all the fucking time. You know, it's just fascinating just following him. whilst like Danny just turned his fucking life around, and and everything. Who cares? He's got it good. He's got it way good.
Yeah, he's the one. He carries the whole show. In every situation, it's either really tragic or really really funny. And speaking of one of like another cool moment, of course, speaking of Johnny, his son, who goes on the run, and like
He
they
doesn't
have
get
to.
much in this season. He doesn't do
No,
much.
he took a bit of a backseat, which is fine because we didn't need too much of him. They did a basic shit with him, and it worked. To be fair, even the old melodrama of walking in on your ex and Miguel and all this kind of stuff. But he ends up in jail because like Larusso kind of dobs him in just to get him a lighter sentence. But the funny one is when they go looking for him, and like this big karate fight breaks out with him and Johnny teaming up against these dodgy mechanics who have that car, and that was just a great moment to see. It was just again just pure, like absolutely no logic behind it, but it's like, yeah, fuck it, we'll just get into a great big karate fight. And it was just just the fight choreography in this season, in this series, is amazing. It's amazing. Like,
it was all right. It was all right. It was okay.
No, come on. I mean, it's a series. It's not. It's
No,
not a film.
it is a series, but even for series, I've seen better. But I understand what they're dealing with. They're dealing with a couple of guys in their 50s, another guy in his 70s, and stuff like that.
Well,
And a
I'm
bunch
talking
of
more about the kids than
and even with the kids,
Daniel
they're a
Larusso
mixed bag. Like the
woeful.
guy Hawk is I think is a martial artist.
Yeah,
But I'm not sure about the rest.
yeah, definitely. Ralph Macchio is abysmal. Still, absolutely like stiff as anything. Johnny Lawrence William Zabka is great even for his
He's
age.
a physically fit man. He's always been.
Yeah.
You saw those pictures when he was trying to show those pictures. And those
You got one with the shirt on? Oh yeah, here you go. It's like a vest with his nipple out.
So I'm sure, like, you could just tell the guy, he pretty much lives in the gym. I'm pretty sure. So
yeah.
So.
Well, look at him. He looks great for his age as well.
Yeah, he's
like,
mid-50s, man. I mean, he's a year younger than Ralph Macchio.
Macchio, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And no, he looks in great shape. Yeah, we also saw Samantha Larusso. Now, she had a bit of a journey in this because she had a bit of PTSD.
Yes, he did, which I was surprised about.
Which is, okay, you got PTSD because you got scratched on the arm. Calm down.
She had a weapon. What do you expect?
Yeah, but the funny part was, it's like, when her and Miguel are there trying to talk to the judges to reinstate the tournament, and they're talking about a guy that was paralyzed in a coma, and she's talking about like, we all suffer and mental pain is the worst suffering of all, and I'm like, bitch, you're saying that right next to a guy that just was crippled and in a fucking coma. But of course, white girl, first world problems, it's obviously going to be more important than brown guys' problems, and I just thought that was very funny. Well, they did handle it well. They did handle Samantha Larusso trauma well. I thought she had a good development in this, trying to handle that.
I was a bit weird. I just thought she was tough. I mean, look, I understand. Like, I just kind of surprised, that. I don't want to say tough and regarding people. It sounds like I'm doing a disservice to what PTSD is, but from what we saw of her in season 1 and season 2, I was kind of surprised that she was like so scarred, considering she's a girl who can handle herself.
Yeah,
I mean, she's not afraid of anybody, really. I mean, she can kick somebody, she can kick ass. So
yeah, I mean, she should have like, obviously, if they could have taken that out, it would have been better, and she could just kind of take over while Dad's dealing with the shit. She just kind of took over and led things. But they needed to give her some kind of arc to build some kind of like,
sort of crutch,
overcoming all the odds at the end to kind of so
because
they
leaving Dimitri like that, man, I just can't, it just didn't. It seemed very out of character for her.
It did, yeah. I mean, it's just you got a scratch on the arm, and all of a sudden the world is kind of thing. But they dealt with it how they dealt with it in a very 80s manner as well, of like, oh, my back's against the wall, and then some thoughts of, you got to fight back and never give up and all this kind of shit. And then, the sticks are going to fucking play into it. And
you know, like sometimes you get films and shows which have kids in it, but are not necessarily for kids, like Lord of the Flies, Stand By Me. And I thought the
Yeah,
first couple of seasons, even though it had kids in it, it wasn't necessarily a kids show. But this season felt a little bit more like a high, you know, a high teen
high
musical
school
at times.
drama.
Yeah, a musical at times, all people running in and dancing with their choreography and shit like that. You know, it felt like that at time. You know, it really did, and I don't know how I want to take that. You know,
I
like
didn't mind it. I didn't mind it because you don't want all the focus being on just the adults or just the kids as well. I found there was a good mixture, and they let some of the not so great characters kind of take a back seat, like with Robbie and Tori. Like Tori's acting in this
yeah,
season was wank. She was very wooden in this season. It
some
was
of the
kind of
scenes
hard
felt
to.
really felt weird or even forced, like Dimitri pulling that bird, you know, who obviously had an interest in him but wasn't trying to own up to it, you know, and stuff like that. You know, that felt a bit weird. Just kind of came. Like, you never saw it grow. You never really saw it develop. 1 minute they have a couple of interactions. Next, you know, they're snogging around the corner, you know, and stuff like that. You
Yeah,
know,
which you could have cut a bit of Larusso's time to develop characters like Dimitri, who is one of the more funnier characters in the show. I do like him
And,
a lot.
and not just that, but I want to see like these dweebs be evil dweebs on Cobra Kai, not being ousted because they're obviously not tough enough. Because you know I wanted John Kreese to toughen them. I wanted him instead of like getting rid of them, like make them badasses. You know, even though they look like
Yeah,
fucking
kind of
nerds.
like what Johnny Lawrence did initially. He made
Yeah,
those nerds bad.
what Hawk did. Hawk was a perfect example of a
Yeah, he
transformation
froze
of a guy in his shell. He's done this, he's done a mohawk. He's got a fucking tattoo on his back, and he's now fucking badass. You know, and he just wanted to see that with the other dweebs. You know what I mean? Turn them into
yeah,
evil versions of what they were. You know, make them bad. But instead, they weren't able to cut it, so they end up with the good guys. And I found
yeah.
that a bit.
And they kind of bring back the bullies from the first season
Yeah,
back into the fold, which they didn't really need to do. I agree. They could have just built on the dweebs because there's a lot of switching around and all of that, and it's
but
it's
this
not
first
it's not that
season,
it's confusing. It's just irritating more than anything. It's just like, well, who's going to switch again now in season 4? We're going to get more switches. Is John Kreese going to end up fucking switching, and the other guy takes over the Cobra Kai dojo, and are we going to go down these kind of routes? So I don't want to see any more switching around. Not even Robbie. I want Robbie to go full on, and Tori to remain like full on, just bad people, just dickheads.
Tori's the one with
Because
the mum on dialysis. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, the one with the
Because only
dialysis.
her and Robbie are the only two relevant characters on Cobra Kai. You
Yeah,
know, the rest have all left.
yeah.
You
The,
know,
the rest have left. Like you've got like the chubby guy and the Asian
and Hawk
wrestling
and
dude and that, but I don't really care about them. I don't
yeah.
care. Just it's trying to swing it all back now, so that the initial nerds that were the good guys that then turned bad are now back to being good, so that you have your definitive good versus evil in the
Which
next
is
kind
not
of
good.
show, the full-on redemption styles and all that. Which the plot twist should have been they don't redeem themselves. They stay
No, but
bad.
it shouldn't have to be good versus bad. Everything's grey. Keep it grey. Like you
Oh,
got
keep it
characters you
great.
like.
Yeah, I agree.
You got characters you like who are on Cobra Kai. You got characters you like who are part of the Miyagi group. But and they all got characteristics, but they just somehow just can't seem to get along.
Yeah,
And if you want
they
to keep it
clash.
like they clash and stuff like that, and that would be far
A
more
bit like
interesting than
Johnny and
this.
Daniel, who get on, who don't get on, but are not bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that, and that's how it should be. Like, how can you bring in, say, Hawk, who broke, like, if somebody broke my arm and then come in to be the good guy? I'd be like, no, fuck off. I'll
You couldn't
train
trust him.
to break your arm, and Robbie cannot, like, if they redeem Robbie, then that's just fucking beyond stupid, because it's like he crippled one of the bloody kids.
Robbie's going to be redeemed.
Of course he will.
Robbie's going to be redeemed, but then I can't see Who is it?
They've probably been,
Tori is there any redemption within Tori? I think they're going to play on the fact that her mum's sick and stuff like that, which actually never really got any more focus once fucking John Kreese dealt with the handyman.
that's it. It was put on the back foot.
And then all of a sudden, everything's hunky dory. She's able to go around and beat the fuck out of people. You know, like.
Well, I mean, what they could do is make John Kreese kind of make it that she, the mum dies, like go full on evil.
Oh, excuse me.
So make Tori like go further into the dark side or something like that. But they probably won't go down there. It's fine if they don't. I'm just saying, you know, if they do.
Oh wow! I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we kind of saw like why John Kreese became who he is, because he had the chance to save his superior officer once the raid happened on that camp, and he thought, "Fuck that!" And by killing him in that moment, made him the man who he is. In my opinion.
Yeah, I loved that bit though. I loved it.
Yeah,
no mercy.
But at the same time, you also understand why Terry Alexander has a life debt, you know, to John Kreese, because he's mentioned John Kreese saved his ass multiple times. What John Kreese did there, for him, you know, like he's very lucky that this guy's a billionaire. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's still going to be a billionaire because Daniel Larusso beat him in the martial arts tournament in Karate Kid 3, so he might have lost all his entire wealth because of it.
Oh no, my money's gone.
My
fortune. Can you imagine? Comes in as a hobo off the streets.
Yeah, but they're running out of nostalgic trips now, because they're going to obviously bring him back. I feel they're going to bring back his apprentice as well. And then, you know, if they do continue this show, then they might bring back Hilary Swank from the fourth one.
I'm expecting Hilary Swank to show up in season 5. I am.
I'm expecting her to show up next season. I'm expecting it to show up next season to.
I hope they don't.
To be that bolster, like for the good guys, like okay, they brought back so and so. Well, we got Hilary Swank, you know what I mean, and somebody as well. I feel maybe that Daniel could really relate to being, you know, that person being an ex-student of Miyagi and stuff like that, and I think that would work really well
with Miyagi.
And he's kind of surprised. By the way, Daniel, he fucking bumped into a few old flames this season, man. You know, I can't remember the one from the third movie. I don't think she'll ever come back. She's so forgettable. But
oh yeah, it was the one. Yeah, oh fuck, yeah, I know who you mean, but yeah.
So he bumped into a few old flames. I'm surprised that never went anywhere and stuff like that. But it's good to see that his wife is such an understanding woman, you know, by seeing him give his ex-girlfriend a couple of hugs, which was pretty funny.
Well, she's a good. I like Amanda Larusso. I think she's a well-written character. Like,
yeah, she's really good.
No bullshit kind of fights for the family, fights, you know, to protect in her own way, and really is like she's hardcore.
Yeah, she's it kind of reminds me of my own parents to a degree. Like my dad was always the cool one, my mum was the fiery, ragey one. You know, and you can see it in them too. Daniel's obviously the cool, calm one, and she's the other side of that relationship, and that's why opposites attract at times. You know, she's very vocal.
I totally agree. Yeah,
I love it. I love how vocal she is. And what's his face came back? My cousin Vinny, he came back, you know, to help sell cars and shit.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, the cousin and Farouk. I'll call him. I think it's Farouche, but I'll just call him Farouk. They came back,
and I think he's been redeemed now. But why did they get rid of him? Because he was incompetent, or was he backstabbed Danny?
I think they got rid of the cousin because of the incident. I think he attacked or went to attack the dojo, and Johnny beat him up or some shit. I forgot. I'm rewatching it all now, but I think there was something like that. Farouk backstabbed Daniel by going to work for I think Cole, the other guy. I think, yeah. But
by the way,
they're not that significant, so I don't really remember their story arc.
The actress Nicole Brown, who wasn't on this season, allegedly, rumors, the reason why she wasn't on this season is because she lost all her weight. You should see her now. She's slim.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
That's
she's
a
slim.
bit of a shit reason to get rid of her.
Yeah, so, But
Maybe
apparently,
they'll bring her back for season 4 then.
I think she'll be back in season 4. But if you met at the beginning on episode 1 of this season, it was very briefly mentioned that because of the fight and stuff, they
moved away.
Moved to France.
Yeah.
so that's how they wrote her out, and it meant Danny's daughter had no confident, so to speak. She had Dimitri to a degree, but no female confident, that she can talk to. Like, I mean, they were those two went back years as well. They were childhood friends, so to speak. So she had none of that, and she was on her own a little bit, and it kind of shown. But yeah.
I'm just looking at. Yeah,
wow,
she has lost a lot of weight. Oh, fair play to her.
Season 4, so it looks like it's going to be the tournament in a way. Oh, by the way, we got Eagle Fan Karate, which is an unusual name, but the tournament's going to happen for season 4. It's going to be a build up for that, and it's going to be a Mexican standoff tournament, but it's going to be a three-way faction. Actually, I think Eagle Fang and
Eagle Fang and Miyagi Dojo of.
Yeah, but you know them two are going to butt heads all the fucking. It looks all hunky dory now, but as the season goes along, they're going to butt heads, and one of them's going to forget this. We should never have joined up. It's going to be one of those sort of things.
Yeah, then there's going to be that split between the kids there, and we end up with like a three-way for the tournament. Oh no. God.
I can see it already, James. Like the techniques, like Johnny's adult, he's got a whole different way of doing things. Obviously Danny's got a whole different way of doing these things. When he's going to start telling them to paint the wall, and you think, "What the fuck are you doing, mate?" You know what I mean? You should be teaching these guys how to punch. You know what I mean? Why are you asking them to clean the car? What is this? And shit like that.
Yeah.
What is this?
Just come to my car lot and we'll do wax on, wax off. You mean free labor? Well, this is America. I'm a capitalist. I've got to get mine, kind of thing. And then paint all these fences. And you know what? While we're at it, I'll teach you the twist technique. All you do is you get a screwdriver and you rewire my whole house, and you learn how to twist. And
going back to the logic thing, like as they're progressing on, are they all doing it just so they can win a fucking tournament? Is it bragging rights now? Is that what it's culminating to?
It's probably going to culminate to bragging rights.
It's all bragging rights.
Obviously, for Daniel and Johnny, they want to get rid of the Cobra Kai dojo now to get rid of Kreese, and that instead of just calling the fucking police after the attack on the house, they're going to do it for a karate tournament because 80s. Yeah.
See, this is why I want Hillary Swank back next season and not the season off, because personally, I think next season should be the final season. Let's not drag it out.
No, don't be daft. No, that's crazy talk. No, I don't want this show to end.
But where does it go after the tournament? And then you're going to be
until the kids graduate from school, and then they go separate ways, and then
they're all fighting each other for fuck knows what reason. How long is that going to be interesting for? You know what I mean? Like with a fucking roster draft every year by the looks of things. They
could go down that route.
Even that will get tedious after. I mean, a lot of things was, if they keep following, I mean, they've got to like mix it up. I mean,
one of the good things,
one
of the good things is with Miguel, with Amanda, and with like Robbie, is they're tied to Danny and Johnny, so you can see their journeys, like whatever they do, and things like that. So they'll always be around, because obviously you have like the relationship between Johnny and Miguel's mother, who they'll probably fuck that up because drama. So you'll see that. So it will be interesting to see where they go after this. But I don't want it to end, because I think there's just enough fun and silliness there to go for at least 6 series before it wears thin. And one thing I don't want to see, and the reason I'm saying this, I don't want to see Jaden Smith fucking coming in like season 5 or 6, because he was in the reboot, and his dad is one of the producers of the show. So I don't want to see him on or Jackie Chan kind of show up in Cobra Kai season 5 or 6, because I just don't like Jaden Smith.
Jackie Chan shows up. What's his name? Miyagi, by the way, in even though that's a Japanese name.
No. It wasn't even karate. It was kung fu.
Yeah, I know. That's what really irritated me. Like, how fucking You know, like
Just
how
call it Kung Fu Kid.
yeah, it's called it the Kung Fu Kid. You
Just Kung
fucking
Fu Kid, fucking idiots.
yeah, like beyond. I couldn't. Oh God, yeah, like I could believe it, but nevertheless, I've heard rumors that that's set in the same universe, that film,
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
and
Only pictures, so
so apparently Jaden Smith might pop in one day, which will be interesting,
you better
and
not.
have the style between like what like you go look. I think kung fu's better than karate, and then
Yeah,
boom.
all that kind of shit. I think like another way to kind of evolve it, like let's say if we take Miguel for example, is Miguel like just gets into like MMA, moves beyond karate and gets into MMA, and it kind of goes into that territory, and he goes on and fists fucking Conor McGregor or whatever. And no, I'm joking. I'm joking, by the way. I don't want to see that kind of dumb shit. But the series it still has legs. It's very very popular. Like people love it. It knows how to ride the nostalgia, the cheese, and the sentiment at the same time. You know, there is so much that if any other show did, we would just be like, "What the fuck is this shit?" But because there's such a good mixture, you just let it get away with some of the silliness and the just like pure ridiculous nature of it all, and that the karate being the be all the end all. It's like a COVID vaccine that is a solution to a world problem kind of attitude with karate. You forgive all that because you just enjoy the ride, and it's nice to have a show where pretty much everyone is on board. And I don't think we've had that since maybe, I mean, I didn't care for them, but there's like Games of Thrones and Breaking Bad and things like that. Mind you, even the Mandalorian, a lot of
Mandalorian about to say, yeah, most
positive
recently,
weight on that.
everyone was on board with that pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just the in the minority that thinks it's a okay show, but it's not great. But that's me. But the general consensus is people fucking love it, and that's fantastic. It just shows you that fans are easily pleased is the main thing if you get the elements right and you don't try to kind of break away from what made this thing great. So Karate Kid, what made it great was it just had your typical your bully, your hero, your montages, your 80s cheesy monologues, your 80s action, and they've taken everything that made it great and they've put it in with a modern twist. And honestly, it's like nothing I've ever seen before, like done like that, where you take an old show and you twist the premise and it's brilliant. And it's a good bar that's been set for shows, and everyone seems to be enjoying it. Like I told you before we started the stream, I asked for people's thoughts about the show in a group on Facebook that is literally nothing to do with nerd culture or anything like that, or TV culture. It's just a group of memes, debates, and silly idiots talking bollocks. And I posted a thing asking what people thought, and I had like over 100 comments. People just absolutely loving the shit out of it. Even somebody that was like thought that it was really daft, but still loved it all. So I think like the next couple of weeks, people are going to be riding this, and it's a nice positive way to kind of bring in the new year, having a positive distraction from everything that's kind of going on. And next we have, thankfully, not long to go now. We have the WandaVision
Yep.
that's coming.
Ginge, I wanted to quickly say that this show never made me realize how immensely popular Karate Kid was, until this show came along. Because I knew people knew about the Karate Kid and stuff like that. It's a well-renowned film to that degree. But to be as popular as it is, it almost feels like Star Wars levels of popularity at times, and it's quite remarkable that this film has left such a mark that it's made it, that this series is. I mean, the series had to be done well for it to be as popular as it is. But you coincide that with the fact that the films were so popular that this series has just gone on to another stratosphere, and it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like on that note is what Hollywood underestimates is if you do nostalgia well, you will have an instant hit, because there are millions upon millions of people that kind of long for this kind of trip. And it's not just that, is they bring their kids in, they bring other people in on a wild ride, and it's done well. Another prime example. So one of the biggest like kind of family films of the 80s was The Goonies. And what is quite similar to The Goonies that was a massive success? Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
And look how huge that, because what Stranger Things did again, it took everything that made 80s shows great and it brought it in with a nice modern twist, and people loved that shit. Old people, new people, they ate it up. But also, one of the important factors is the kids are really good actors, and you like the kids, because if you don't feel any connection with the kids in both of these shows, you're not going to connect with the show and just go like, oh, let's see what the adults are doing. But that's why, like Stranger Things and kind of like Cobra Kai, they did it well. But Cobra Kai is unique because it took a film, a trilogy, or a saga that was extremely popular in its heyday and put a completely different twist on it, and they just ran away with it. And I'm surprised we haven't seen more of this yet. Though they did try recently with Saved by the Bell, but they fucked that up completely. I haven't even bothered to kind of watch
I
that.
think it's a lot harder to do it with a sitcom.
I agree. Yeah,
you know, like something like that. I mean, there is a lot of there's a lot of stuff out there which, you know, if they wanted to bring back, you know, not just from the 80s but from the 90s too, they wanted to bring back and give it a little twist here and there, I'm sure it would work. And it's shown with Karate Kid. They would have to use maybe certain things with actors who are really young. So obviously the Goonies would be a good example. But I can't imagine adults maybe going on the treasure hunt like they did as kids. That would come across as a bit weird. I'm stretching it a little bit moment to think of particular things. I've got Monster Squad in the brain for some reason. But
yeah. Monster Squad. I don't think that was as popular though. But I mean, you could have like, I mean, I suppose you could bring Back to the Future, but I never want to see that touched. I like it as it is.
No, like I think it's a disservice. Like honestly,
just certain types of films.
Yeah, is it?
Well, with Goonies, we kind of got it with Stranger Things with a horror twist.
If there isn't for me, Back to the Future 4 is the Telltale game. Have you played it?
No. I've heard of it though.
It's really good. It's set in 1986, and it feels like it feels like Back to the Future 4. You know, it really does. It continues a lot where it pretty much left off, and there's a story mode and stuff like that. And I'm happy with that. You know, just certain things I need to leave.
Yeah, fair enough. I really like the Ghostbusters game, which the Ghostbusters game was like unofficially Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah,
which was a very good game, by the way. But there are other shows I can't think of the top. In fact, that's what we could do. We could do we'll do a live stream of shows. We'll do the 80s, so stuff they could bring back from the 80s and give it a modern twist.
Now, if it doesn't have any of the original cast, if it doesn't have any of the original cast, and it becomes a reboot.
No. It has to have the original cast in it.
Some of them, at least, you know. So
yeah. So we'll do a stream like that. But yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, overall, fantastic. Again, Cobra Kai is my favorite show on TV at the moment. I absolutely love it. I'm literally just gone back to start rewatching it from the beginning because I just had
it's hilarious at times. You know, anything with Johnny, like he makes the laugh out loud moments come to life in that show more than any other character.
Because he's a no bullshitter. He's kind of stuck in his ways, but he's unfiltered as well, and it's great to see that.
His interactions with the modern world, like even in this season, like he comes across, like, as far as he's concerned, computers are for nerds, but even the most coolest people in today's world are on computers. So he's obviously behind the times that he uses that laptop, and in this season he doesn't use it anymore because it's run out of juice. But he's so fucking stupid. He doesn't realize you can plug it in.
Yeah, but also the kid was like, don't you have Facebook anymore? I was like, no, I threw my phone away. He's like, yeah, but you've got a computer, right? Like, oh yeah.
then he told them about the messages and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That is too desperate and stuff like that. And he writes the perfect message. He goes, "Oh, that's too long," and he goes, "Not much, you." I was like, hilarious. That was brilliant, man.
That's just so
And
funny.
hopefully, by the way, hopefully we won't see Elizabeth Shue's character anymore, because to a degree she was closure. She was used as closure, and that's why I'm glad she came in and she's gone out. And
yeah, of all the old characters that we saw, I don't mind seeing what was the guy again that was in Karate Kid 2? Chosen. I don't mind seeing him again.
I wouldn't mind seeing Kimiko come back.
Not that fast.
Chosen more, but it looks like Chosen's become an ally now.
Yeah, but Kumiko in Karate Kid 2, hot as balls, mate. She's really hot.
She was.
That's why I remember enjoying Karate Kid 2 because of her. Because I never really fancied Elizabeth Shue. She's not like my type of bird. But Kumiko, oh yes. Anyway, that's it. Thank you all for joining us for our Cobra Kai Season 3 review. Out of this, we've spun into what will be a new premise that we'll be doing on Nerd Nation. So join in for that as we go down a nostalgia trip that could be brought back with a modern twist. I want to thank my co-host Zan for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And we will see you again for the next one. Keep an eye out. Subscribe, hit a like. Only Cheeto commented, but thank you all for joining us anyway. Bye. Bye.